Who would you vote for?
Lionel Messi, of course. Is there really a question that he's the best player of the world? Not for me. I think I've said this before on the show. Even if he doesn't kick a ball all year, he is still the best player of the world right now on this planet. And I don't think there's any argument about it, at least not in my head.
Any argument in studio here?
We've got a list.
Oh, it's a short list.
Oh, there's a list.
Have we got a refresher?
Mario Mandzukic is on it. I mean, there's no shortage of options if you want to take a look at the list.
I'm going for Mbappe.
Really?
I think, have you looked at what he's done this year? I mean, the League Cup, he won the French Cup, he won the World Cup, he won the
Are you going to throw
League Cup. Hang on a minute, cool. You asked me who I'm backing Mbappe. 123 matches, 62 goals, 24 games for France, 12 goals. Scored in the World Cup. Him and Pelé, only teenagers to do it. Pelé got 2, he got 1 in the final. He's having the most incredible year that any man could have. I think he's a joy to watch, and he plays the game in the right way.
I don't mind Mbappe. And if I were to pick one from France, it would not be Antoine Griezmann. It would be Kylian Mbappe, because he was the different player in the World Cup. He was the guy that, if you're watching France, you pay attention to. But I agree with Raf. I would say it's Lionel Messi. And the stats paint a picture as to what Lionel Messi means to Barcelona. But it's the consistency, it's his ability to do it year after year. And then you just look at the productivity and what he does. And his performances individually, sometimes they are evaluated based on his standard, which unfairly puts him in a position where maybe he comes up short of his standard and yet is above everybody else's standard. Lionel Messi continues to be the best player in the world.
I mean, Mbappe would be, I mean, what a shot in the arm it would be for a teenager, you know, but, you know, with a terrific, 10, 15 years ahead of him, already a world-class operator, already playing like a guy in his mid-20s. That's how mature he is. And I wouldn't have a problem with that because, as Paul said, and you've clearly been on the computer.
I have.
He's
Research computer.
His numbers stack up. However, there's no doubt Messi is the best player in the world. It's not his fault that, as a team, Barcelona capitulated against Roma in the Champions League. It's not his fault that under Sampaoli, Argentina, and some will say, well, he was messing behind the scenes and he was trying to do this. It's not his fault, per se, that Argentina were a shambles at the World Cup. You cannot control all of these things. They're out with one man's control. So a lot of people will make that argument, and we've heard it before. Well, he hasn't won the World Cup. Well, he hasn't done this. Well, they didn't win the Champions League this year. That's really not what we're talking about here. We're talking about individuals. And there is an individual, as he showed again last week in the Champions League at Wembley, he's just in a different stratosphere.
According to the bookmakers, the guy who's going to win it hasn't even been named yet on this panel. Luka Modric. Raf, what do you think? Is Modric going to end up winning this?
I think Modric gets a lot of sort of political votes for people who are a little bit fed up with Messi, Ronaldo, who want to reward Croatia as a team. They're looking for him as a figurehead, as a captain, as a guy who, through his tirelessness and ability, really dragged Croatia maybe a little bit further than they should have done. But having said all that, I don't think he is a better footballer than Lionel Messi. I don't think they're quite in the same bracket, and I think it'd be slightly disingenuous to make the argument. Yes, he's had a lot of impact. Yes, he's done really well for his country, for Real Madrid less so, I would say. But I still don't see how he can be perceived as a better footballer than Lionel Messi in 2018.